Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices, and we've allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something you can see yourself supporting, well, we ask that you join the cause. Make sure that you like, follow, and are subscribed to all of our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this live program is being streamed on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. We could be found under Frankie Olivo. But we also encourage you to follow our personal page on Face. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, if you haven't already, create a Gmail account, go to YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe to our channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. It's free. Remember, Brownsville, I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you for food. All I ask in my community is something very simple. You want us to continue to provide you with the latest information that is happening within our local area? We'll gladly do so. We'll risk our reputation, our necks, our lives out for you. All we ask in return is something very simple that won't cost you a dime. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and ABC. Why? Why are we asking you to follow all of our social media platforms? Well, as of late, our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you, the voter, to know the truth. But remember, we will not be silenced. So if you're really about the cause and you want to stand up to corruption and you want to hold our elected leaders and those in leadership positions accountable, you know what to do. Make sure that you are following all of our social media platforms. Remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday religiously. So make sure that you're subscribed to all of our social media platforms. But more importantly, make sure you're subscribed to YouTube. We could be found under Frankie Olivo TV. We will not be silenced. And always remember, Brownsville, we are forever grateful to each and every one of you for the time and attention that you provide us. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Happy Wednesday. I hope each and every one of you have had a busy, eventful week. I am on earlier than I usually am. I do have a very busy day. I have to be in Westlaco for a business meeting, very important business meeting. I have to be there at 11. I know many of y'all think, oh, this guy doesn't work. He's always asking us for he's always asking us for likes and for subscriptions. I gotta work, my people. I gotta work. Hopefully one of these days this will be our full-time job. Maybe one day. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something interesting, something that many people have asked me. Frankie, you're biased. How much are you getting paid? It seems as if you're only targeting one side. To those individuals that have stated that, I believe you here, and you don't really understand what this program is all about. At the end of the day, we've prided ourselves in providing you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, people misconstrue us covering certain stories or covering certain candidates. If you don't remember or know what we're all about, I encourage you to go back to May. Back in May, when the city of Brownsville had its municipal runoff elections, I did 2 weeks on Pedrito Cárdenas. And people said, oh, you're getting paid. No one paid me. Oh, you're biased. It's not that I'm being biased. It's just Pedrito Cárdenas tiene mucha cola. There's so much to talk about. Same thing with what we're going to talk about today. Many people have said, oh, you're biased. You're favoring Eddie Trevino. Eddie Trevino doesn't owe me anything. I'm not favoring Eddie Trevino. And to those individuals that say I'm getting paid for what? For covering stories? At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, do I benefit from whoever wins the county judge position? Is my life going to change in any sort of way? Am I going to gain a job? Am I going to get some sort of monetary benefit? No, at the end of the day, I don't benefit from whoever wins, be that Eddie Trevino, Steve Guerra, Eric Garza, or Mauro Garza. At the end of the day, our program will look into these candidates, look into their platforms, and talk to you about them. People say, oh, well, you're only targeting Steve, because we don't know much about Steve. Steve has been under the radar. Many people are asking, is he going to debate Eddie Trevino, who challenged him? Imagine being challenged and Steve not answering to the call. He did post that he was at a LULAC event. 5 people showed up. If that's Steve's Guerra's way of saying, I did a public appearance, I spoke before people, I guess. At the end of the day, we're going to cover all the politicians, ladies and gentlemen. We don't benefit in no sort of way. We don't favor any candidate. At the end of the day, what we're after is the truth. Someone asked me, someone called me maybe about a few weeks ago and said, hey, man, I thought you were supporting Steve. I was like, well, me too. He's like, what happened? I was like, at the end of the day, I just cover stories. That's my job. Do we have people talking to you about these things, about asking these tough questions? It is not in my benefit, ladies and gentlemen, to ask Steve these delicate questions. Well, in my opinion, they're simple questions. What's your profession? What's your source of income? What's your goals? What are your platform is for Cameron County? What's your vision for the next 8 years? What's your stance on SpaceX? What's your stance on LNG? Have we heard any of that? All we heard is, political rhetoric, transparency, change. I think you're being transparent, Steve, whenever the community is asking what you do, what's your source of income, where's your office located? But here you're claiming transparency. Again, we favor no candidate. We do not protect any candidate. Why am I focusing so much on Steve? Because there's a lot of question marks. I would appreciate more information, but he's not going to give it to us. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something that is known, but not really talked about. Money laundering. Do politicians launder money through campaigns? And that is how we will start today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, Brownsville. But first, a word from our sponsor.
I've dedicated my life to public service, but now I see a county that's ready for change. It's time to bring accountability, transparency, and efficiency to how your tax dollars are managed. We can lower taxes and make government work smarter for you. I'm Jonathan Gracia, and I humbly ask for your vote for Cameron County Treasurer, so together we can build a better future.
Whenever we talk about campaigns, ladies and gentlemen, campaigns is something that politicians spend thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in trying to push their message out to the community. They want to make sure that they target every audience, young and old, from all demographics, to sway, to convey, to convince them that they are the right person for the job. And running a political campaign, it's a science. If you tuned into yesterday's program, we talked about how, voter fraud, voter harvesting is something, a part of the game, unfortunately. Politics is an ugly game, ladies and gentlemen, and it is one that many people prey on those most vulnerable. And what we have seen has been that this is something that is of the norm, so to speak. I just posted, if you haven't seen, how Steve Guerra's operatives are at a daycare center, an area in which the most vulnerable of people are your grandfather, your grandmother, your tia, your tío. They go to these daycare centers too because they can't fend for themselves. They need assistance of some sort. And if you haven't seen it already, I encourage you to do so because it's disgusting. It seems as if Steve Guerra and his team are taking advantage of the most vulnerable of people. Are they exploiting the most vulnerable, the elderly, the disabled, the mentally impaired, those with limited literacy through voter harvesting at these senior daycare centers? You know, I was fed information that I haven't posted because I haven't been able to confirm this information, but somebody very close to Steve Guerra and his camp weeks ago told me that there is an agreement with the elderly daycare centers and that Guerra provides transportation and money to these daycare centers so they could go vote for him. And not just him per se, but he does this in every other election whenever he needs to get his friends into office. Now, I didn't jump on that information because not that it was far-fetched. Does it happen? Yes. But I couldn't prove it. Again, everything that we talk about is always done with receipts. It doesn't benefit me to say something and for me not to have something to back myself with. But now that we do have something, we have a video of Steve Guerra and his operatives taking advantage of the most vulnerable is disgusting. It really is, because when you look at the video, these people are not coherent. These people possibly don't even know what is going on. Now, mind you, I understand if Steve Guerra is actively involved with these daycare centers, throughout the year. He's there giving them Christmas gifts. He's giving them, Easter egg baskets. He's giving them a summer bag of toiletries. But whenever a candidate and his team is at these facilities and they're encouraging the voters to vote for them, it's very troubling.
Así es que yo quisiera que todos ustedes se unan el 27 de febrero para que voten por Steven Guerra. Vamos a darle un aplauso a Steven Guerra. Eso que sean los aplausos.
And this is a dirty game. And here we have Steve Guerra's, I don't know who this is. Look what he has to say.
Aquí todo el condado. También es una persona, en verdad, que quiere cambiar toda la política, quiere traer personas nuevas y más trabajos para todo el condado, o sea, incluyendo Bronzeville, Harlingen, Byron, la feria, y esperamos que nos apoyen con esto, que nos apoyen con todo. También ahorita, lamentablemente, se ha visto muchas cosas que están pasando en la comunidad latina, pues cosas del aire, deportaciones y todo eso. Entonces, ocupamos una persona paisa, mexicano, ¿verdad?, que nos apoye, que sepa lo que estamos pasando, lo que es trabajar día a día, ¿verdad?, ganarse $1, que todos sabemos que no es fácil. Entonces, esperamos que todos vengan y voten para hacer un cambio, porque cada voto importa mucho. Cada uno puede poner su granito de arena, votar y hacer un cambio totalmente en esta comunidad, ¿verdad? Pides a sus sobrinos, a los nietos, a los primos, que por favor vengan a apoyar. Aquí en esta tarjeta dice que podemos votar el 27 de febrero, y el último día para el voto es marzo 3. Entonces, por favor, todos, ¿verdad?, pongan su granito de arena, lo que queremos pedir, ¿verdad?, para que en verdad haga un cambio en la comunidad, haga un cambio en el condado, y en verdad, pues, sacar la vieja escuela y que entre la gente nueva, ¿verdad?, porque ocupamos una nueva voz, una nueva comunidad y más empleo, ¿verdad? Y también ahorita sacar a esta gente que está dañando a nuestra comunidad, sacarlos, ¿verdad? Porque ellos no saben lo que es trabajar día a día y pagar la renta, pagar la luz, pagar la agua, y no saben lo que un mexicano pasa, ¿verdad?, diariamente aquí en esa región. Entonces, los esperamos el 17 de febrero, ¿verdad? Para votar, que es el early voting, y el último día es marzo 3, ¿verdad? Cualquier cosa que ocupen, comuníquense, estamos para apoyarlos, estamos para ayudarlos, ¿verdad? Entonces, cualquier cosa que ocupen, aquí estamos. Muchas gracias por su tiempo.
The person says that we need to elect a Mexican, un paisano. With all the ICE deportations, I guess Steve Guerra is going to help fix that. He also says that we need to elect somebody that knows the day-to-day struggles of having to work for their dollar. We don't know what Steve Guerra does, sir. We don't know what his profession is, what his source of income is. So this is an ugly part of the politics game, engine, where these individuals, they go to the most vulnerable who possibly aren't even aware of what is going on, and they're asking them for their vote. That's very troubling. Another big thing, part of the process is campaign finance reports. And we talk about campaign finance reports. It's something very important because at the end of the day, you want to be able to get your message across. Raising money is something very difficult. People have to confide in you and they have to trust that you are, the best candidate. Often what these campaign finance reports help us see is that these reports are official disclosures that are filed by these political candidates, parties, political action committees. And these reports, they detail how money is raised and spent during an election cycle. These reports, they typically include information about donors, the contribution amount, expenditures, debts, any cash on hand, any loans that they gave themselves. And they are intended to provide transparency and accountability in this political process. Now, while most campaign fundraising and spending is legal and regulated, there are concerns sometimes about abuses, including the risk of money laundering, such as disguising the true source of funds through intermediaries, shell companies, shell organizations, or any complex donation networks. There are laws at the federal and state level that are designed to prevent such practices by requiring detailed reporting, giving the addresses, accurate addresses. There's also contribution limits and oversight by election authorities. Now, although documented violations have occurred in some cases, the existence of reporting requirements and enforcement mechanisms aim to detect and deter illegal financial activity in political campaigns. What we have seen as of late has been something that people are accusing the current county judge. This is something that came out in the paper. There was this businessman that had links to politicians throughout Hidalgo and Cameron County. I'm going to leave the link here for you because it's something very interesting. Steve Guerra and his team are using this information to see, you see, Eddie Trevino is on the take. Eddie Trevino is laundering money for the cartel. Those are very serious accusations. And it's something that merits to look into, right? Because at the end of the day, that's our job. I'm leaving here before you the article that I want you to look into shortly after we end this program. In this article, it details how politicians out of Hidalgo County, we're talking the district attorney, the county judge, and a county commissioner for precinct 3, and our county judge, Eddie Trevino, where this businessman with links to the cartel donated money to their campaigns. When this reporter, Dave Hendricks, asked for them to go on the record and ask them, hey, why did you accept money from somebody that is linked to the cartel? Each and every one of them said, I don't know who that man is. If I was aware of who he was, we wouldn't have accepted that money. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're just trying to cover for the county judge. I don't cover for no one. Are we to believe that an individual, knowing that someone that is linked to organized crime and is donating to them, do we honestly think that they are going to put that on their campaign finance report? How do these teams work? Is it them asking for the donations? It's always through third parties. Hey, I got you this donation from such and such person. Here you go. Here's the check. That's the way it usually works. Now, could we have better oversight? Should we investigate each and every donor? Possibly. But Barack Obama has been linked to somebody that donated millions of dollars to him that ultimately went to federal prison. Are we to say that Barack Obama, the president of the United States, was corrupt? That he took, somebody with a shady background and now he's laundering money? That's far-fetched. What this article shows us, ladies and gentlemen, is that Eddie Trevino went on the record. He responded to this journalist, and he said, "You know what? I don't know." Let me give you exactly what he says without going through the article, because it again, I'm leaving there for you on the chat so you can see it yourself. It says Eddie Trevino stated, I don't know or even remember meeting Mr. Aguilar. As far as him donating to my campaign, I can only presume that he was supporting my campaign and my candidacy. Again, we want our politicians to go on the record. That's what we expect from them. Now, is the county judge in some sort of way linked to organized crime? That's a far-fetched statement to make, because what is he, a UT law grad? He makes a salary from being the county judge. Is he going to is he going to tarnish his political career for $5,000? Really? I find that hard to believe. I have also found, and I'm going to talk about it today because I'm not able to, my team is still working on it. As soon as my production team gives me the thumbs up, found something Steve Guerra's campaign previously filed that is troubling. And again, we gave Eddie Trevino the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to give Steve Guerra the benefit of the doubt. The difference is that Eddie Trevino went on the record. Eddie Trevino denounced that donation, and he returned the money back. Whenever Steve Guerra is informed of the information that we have uncovered, is Steve Guerra going to go on the record? Is he going to say, I do not know this person? That is what we want. We want our politicians to go on the record. So we're saying that Eddie Trevino gave the money back, went on the record and say, I do not know this person. If I would have known this person, I wouldn't have accepted. I gave the money back. I don't need the $5,000. Is Steve Guerra going to say that? Well, let's take a look at the campaign finance report of Mr. Steve Guerra that was recently filed. Here we have the campaign finance report of Esteban Guerra 30 days before the March 3rd primary election. And it was filed on February the 5th. And one thing that stands out to me, ladies and gentlemen, it's a few things. Let's get started. Okay, so here we have total political contributions of $36,119. Total expenditures, he spent $38,000. Unitemized political expenditures, $1,474. I think that's wrong. I think that's off. I could be wrong. Contributions maintained, $21,000. Total principal amount of outstanding loans, close to $40,000. Now, let's take a look at these donations, ladies and gentlemen. First, we have a Nicholas Schafter, with a P.O. Box 4499, Brownsville, Texas 78520. $2,000. Okay. We'll give him that. You know, the P.O. Box is in question. Does this P.O. Box exist? Yes or no? Okay. We'll let this one slide. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. The next donation is Innovative Works. Innovative Works donated $5,000. Can you see this? I hope you can see this. Innovative Works donated $5,000 to Steve Guerra. What caught my attention from this donation, ladies and gentlemen, was the address. The address. P.O. Box 1. Okay. Well, let's find out who Innovative Works is, LLC. Again, they gave a $5,000 donation to a county judge candidate. Well, let's take a look exactly who Innovative Solutions, LLC is. I think it's important for the community to learn who is financing these candidates, right? Whenever we do a search, ladies and gentlemen, with Texas Secretary of State, Jane Nelson, and whenever we look and search the name Innovative Works, LLC, what do we find? We find that this business is non-existent. There is no record of this business even being formed. Why is this important? Because this leads to many questions about who exactly is donating money, who is behind this Innovative Works. The way it works, the way we all have there's businesses out there. There's LLCs out there for all different types of purposes. Whenever you file to form an LLC, it stays on record with the state of Texas. And whether that LLC, that business is active, is forfeited, is abandoned, is expired, there's always record of that. And you could find out who the managers, who the owner, who the operating manager is for that business in particular. That is the reason why the Secretary of State has these archives to keep records. Whenever we look at a donation that was given to Esteban Guerra of $5,000 by Innovative Works LLC, we find that it doesn't exist. There's nothing there. Why? Why does this happen? Again, I am not accusing anyone of doing anything, but, and I know, we shouldn't assume, right? But we could only infer that this business does not exist. We cannot find it in the Texas Secretary of State. And also, look at the P.O. Box. P.O. Box 1, Harlingen, Texas. That does not sound right to me. So, does this business exist? I don't know. Innovative Works does not exist. LLC, I couldn't find it. Again, based on my, Courtney, based on my research, maybe you can guide me, Courtney. Again, very quickly, based on my research, well, I shouldn't take credit for it. Based on the research done by the production team, Innovative Works LLC, according to the Texas Secretary of State, Jay Nelson, on their website, It sure does exist. It belongs to Luis Villarreal. Luis Villarreal out of Harlingen or Luis Villarreal out of Brownsville? That's interesting. Okay, so maybe the P.O. Box does exist? Why can't I find it on the Texas Secretary of State? I have checks written from their bank account at First Community Bank. Interesting. Okay, we found out who Innovative Works is. The P.O. Box is funny, but Courtney is saying that Luis Villarreal out of Harlingen, I'm assuming, Courtney? Let's keep on going. The next one, Amco Brokerage Services. Amco Brokerage Services. According to our research, and Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong, do you know who this person is? Old Harlingen Post Office building, signed by my ex-husband. He also owns SOG International. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So, Innovative Works LLC that I cannot find in the... Could you do... Courtney, do me a favor. Can you send me a picture of this check that you say you have? Because I can't find it on the Texas Secretary of State website. Can you find it on your end, Courtney? I would ask of you to send me a check. And I also want you to send me I want you to do your research. You go to the Texas Secretary of State and you find that business. What is it? Innovative Works LLC. Because I can't find it. Same thing with Amco Brokerage Services for $2,000. What did we find from Amco? Same thing. Again, are these one of the same, Courtney? Because according to the Texas Secretary of State, this business does not exist. I was told these are trucking companies that deliver narcotics during midnight. Oh. We're going down a deep, deep, deep rabbit hole. Oh! What else? Let's keep on looking. Again, the campaign finance reports are very, very interesting. Courtney, so I have a task for you, Courtney. If you could help me first send me the check, Courtney. If you don't mind, you could blank out your information. Send me the check of Innovative Works LLC. 1, 2, Courtney, I want you to do your research. I want you to do your research and look up Innovative Works LLC on the Texas Secretary of State. See if we could find it. I can't find it. Maybe you can. What else did we find? Prime Power Solutions. Oh, interesting. Prime Power Solutions, $5,700 for billboards. Prime Power Solutions, $7,900 for what is this? Printed material, campaign literature, I'm guessing. So that's what, 7. Let's round it off just a ballpark. 8,000, 6,000. That's what, 14? Prime Solutions, 14. 14 plus 4, 18 for media services, plus another 12. That's 19,250. 500. That's 19,250. 19,750. Let's say $20,000. Interesting. What else do we find? Robert Vela, $200. Oh, this is the what? Expenditures. Ah, yes, expenditures. Okay. So now we're on to, this is very interesting, Miguelon. Miguelon Send me a message in regards to this. Chingao. I'm trying to stay away, keep my life intact, chingao, and you people want me to keep on going down the rabbit hole, chingao. Pero bueno, I'll do it. I'll do it just for y'all. Also, just for clarification purposes, whenever whenever there was a search, very quickly, whenever there was a search of AMFCO, Courtney, I'm gonna need help too. Courtney, do you know who this is? Hey, Frankie, check your inbox. I appreciate it. Let me see. Damn, Courtney, you're quick. Got it. Thank you so much. In regards to AMFCO, it doesn't say who the owner is of the property that was named in the address. The property search doesn't say a name. Who is that? I don't know. I don't know. Let's continue. What were we looking at? Oh, yeah. Expenditures. Got it. Thanks. Okay. Expenditures. These were the expenses from January. Walmart, $600. Equipment. Robert Vela. Labor, wages, $200. Joan Rodriguez. Why does that name sound familiar? Joan Rodriguez. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Joan Rodriguez, 1315. Okay, let's add it. 1315 plus 2475 plus texting plus 2742 plus I'm adding all of Joan's wages. Alejandro Garcia. What is this? Oh, contributions. Gina Cafe. What is this? Expenditures. Joanne plus 4317 plus the school vote. What is this? Social media fees, 2773. What is that school vote? Doesn't give an address. Is this like a social media platform? I don't understand. I could be wrong, though. So what I found was that Joan Rodriguez from January to February received close to $11,000. And again, my hat's off. Wow. These guys have been robbing me blind for 6 years now. I was told, oh, wow, interesting. Courtney, we need to talk, Courtney. We need to talk, Courtney. I was told years ago the street where Rich Company is at, I believe these companies still exist. Investigate. Well, message me, Miguelon. I'll surely investigate. So according to the campaign finance report, Joan Rodriguez has received, let's say ballpark, $11,000. And what we found from this is that, again, congratulations, Joan. We respect the hustle. We love the hustle. The reason why this caught my attention, ladies and gentlemen, was because of something that happened a few weeks ago. You see, there was an event in which Steve Guerra was the keynote speaker. On January 28, 2026, the Brownsville Crime Stoppers had Do the Right Thing luncheon, where Steve Guerra yes, thanks. Steve Guerra was set to speak. For whatever reason, Steve Guerra chose not to appear. The organizer said that he had a family emergency. What was interesting from that event was that I was blamed. Me, Frankie Olivo, me, a nobody, was blamed for something of disorganized, of causing a ruckus, apparently. Because I received a letter, a cease and desist letter from the Brownsville Crime Stoppers that I received on February the 4th. And it reads, Dear Frankie Olivo, accordingly, you are hereby directed to immediately cease and desist from all use of Brownsville Crime Stopper Inc. logo, seal, and any other official imagery. Remove all existing posts, profile images, cover photos, or media containing Brownsville Crime Stoppers Inc. branding. Refrain from using every variations or likeness that may imply Brownsville Crime Stoppers affiliation or endorsement. What had happened was there was a concerned citizen that wanted to let the community know in regards to Steve Guerra's past. Now, this is the good old US of A, where we have our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. This isn't Matamoros. This isn't Mexico, where journalists, where voters, where their voice is suppressed. Here in this great country, if we believe wholeheartedly against a candidate, we are able to voice our concerns. We can post our own campaign literature in regards to that person. At the end of the day, campaign signs cost money. People spend time and effort. If I do not like, I don't know, let's say Eddie Trevino, if I do not like Steve Guerra, if I do not like Eric Garza, I can't go and take out their sign because I don't like who they are or what they have to say. You see, there was a concerned citizen that was planning to meet Steve Guerra. I was there on my own behalf. I wanted to hear what Steve Guerra had to say. But there was a concerned citizen that placed signs unbeknownst to me. Again, I don't control what people do, what happens outside of the walls. If you ask anyone at the Brownsville Crime Stoppers event, did Frankie Olivo make a ruckus? Did he cause a scene? Ladies and gentlemen, there was a district attorney. There was a state district judges. There was a sheriff. There was a county clerk. You think I was going to cause a scene there in front of them? No. I bought my ticket, and I wanted to listen to what Steve Guerra had to say. What happened was that Joan Rodriguez, who is a board member, was frantic. And he was challenging me and saying, no se te hizo, Frankie, no se te hizo. And I was like, what are you talking about? Your sign that you posted outside, we took it down. What are you talking about, Joan? I honestly didn't know what he was talking about. And he was huffing and puffing and he was scratched. He was bleeding from his nose. You see, I saw Joan twice that day. Once before the event started, he came to my table and he was kind of like, so you ready or what? I said, ready? Yeah, why not? Oh, well, it is what it is, he said. I didn't understand that. But then throughout the course of the event, I saw Joan and his brother frantically on the phone, up and down, sweating. I was like, what the hell is going on with him? Joan Rodriguez confessed to me that him and his brother took down these signs that I have before you on this screen. At the time, I didn't know what was going on. Joan, what signs? I don't know what you're talking about. That truck, that blue Tahoe Denali with a missing hubcap, does it belong to Joan Rodriguez, Alfredo Rodriguez's person? Joan's brother? So, the Crime Stoppers, at their event, they said, we encourage the community. If you have any information in regards to a crime being committed, 956-545-TIPS. So what did Frankie do? They're asking me, I'm at an event, at a function for the Crime Stoppers organization that is encouraging the community to report crime. And here I have a board member from Brownsville Crime Stoppers that is admitting to me that he committed a crime right outside the Brownsville Event Center. So what do you think Frankie did? I reported the crime. That's what they want from the community. And I posted, Brownsville Crime Stoppers, I would like to report a crime. Your very own board member, Joan Rodriguez, admitted to me at the annual luncheon that he and Steve Guerra's people, his brother, removed a campaign sign that a concerned citizen had placed. It is illegal to remove/tamper with a sign that could be considered theft. I'll be waiting for my reward. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You see, the Brownsville Crime Stoppers chairman is an idiot. Did they investigate? Did they look into these allegations made by a citizen of one of their own committing a crime outside of their event? You see, what's his name? Cisneros? What's his name? Let me find it. Fabral Cisneros, you're an idiot, sir. Because guess who asked for a public information request seeking video from the Brownsville Event Center, a property owned by the city where they have cameras everywhere? Guess who asked for that video? And guess what that video is going to show, sir? It's going to show exactly what I told you, what I reported. And you're trying to silence me, a community member? Don't you want the community to report a crime? And here you have me who's reporting a crime, and you file and you send me a cease and desist letter? I checked with my attorney, sir, and they say I'm in the right. You want me to show the picture that I posted? What logo am I using of you? You know, when people post on Facebook, that becomes like anybody could use it, sir. Where's the logo? Joan Rodriguez is wearing a Brownsville Crime Stopper shirt. So you want to silence me instead of, because I made an allegation. I reported a crime of your board member. So what does that say? Whenever a person reports crime from your own people, you're not going to look into it? You try to silence me? Do you not know who I am? You think that's going to stop me? Again, I checked with legal first. I made sure I was in the right before I did this program. And they said, Frankie, you're reporting a crime. If you say that their board member confessed to you, you're in the clear, my friend. And guess what I'm going to do when I have that video in my hands, sir? I'm going to ask for your resignation, effective immediately. Because you are hiding. You are protecting your own who committed a crime. If they do this to me, I have a platform. I have balls. What do they do to a random person that reports a crime and it's not to their liking? You're setting a bad precedence, Fabriel. And aren't you and Joan Freemasons? What are Freemasons all about? Justice and law and order and truth, right? Isn't that the principles that you abide by? You see, something happened because they fixed their narrative. Because they know and they heard that Frank Olivo made a request for the video, and that video exists. So what do? They try and cover their tracks. They don't include my name. They posted it out to the public because my dear friend Susan posted it. And Susan was saying, you see, Frankie's an idiot. Ask anybody that was present at the event. Frankie Olivo didn't do nothing. But they posted this a few days after, 2 days after, because they got word from the city of Brownsville that Frankie Olivo requested the video. And also, sir, you said in this cease and desist letter that your organization has no affiliation or endorsement of any candidate. Really, sir? Really, sir? You want to go there, sir? What does this campaign finance report state? That one of your board members received close to $11,000 from Steve Guerra. Did it cost Steve Guerra $11,000 to be placed as your guest speaker, sir? You don't believe me, sir? Look at the campaign finance report if you don't believe me. So, does Brownsville Crime Stoppers, do they endorse any candidate? Do they support any candidate? Because based on this campaign finance report, and I'm going to leave it to you right here, sir, so you yourself could look at it, it shows that your board member is working for Steve Guerra. And look, more props to the guy. How can I hate the hustle? I admire the hustle. I recently shared Guerra's post where he is an arm in arm with a SOG owner spammer. 2 days later, I was emailed a notice of docket to lure me into Cameron County Court. They want to arrest me for speaking the truth. I am doing court. Send me the picture. I'll share it. If you don't mind, Courtney. So, Brownsville Crime Stoppers, what do you have to say? You send a cease and desist letter to a concerned citizen that, based on your recommendation, you're 956-546 tips. And here I am reporting a crime, and you try and silence me? But what does this campaign finance report show? It shows that your board member is all over it. According to this campaign finance report, he received $11,000 in a span of 2 months. So I ask you the question, because based on your letter, you said that the Brownsville Crime Stoppers does not endorse a candidate, has no affiliations or endorsement with this candidate. Who invited the candidate to speak? Was it Lizzie Putinette, who is, through marriage, family with Steve? Was it Joan Rodriguez, who's also a board member, who received $11,000? And you mean to tell me that Brownsville Crime Stoppers does not endorse or is not affiliated with any candidate? Why did you invite Steve Guerra, of all people, the grandson of the founder of the Gulf Cartel? Again, what happened in the past happened in the past. What we're talking about, Steve, is present, what Steve has done. What the family does, that's neither here nor there. But Steve Guerra has been linked to Huachicol, stolen petroleum, with a company that the Central Intelligence of Mexico has linked to the cartels. And he was your guest speaker for the Brownsville Crime Stoppers. I hope the city of Brownsville does not tamper or deliberately give me video that's not going to show what I know shows, because I have people on the inside and everyone is well aware of what's on that video. You see, you may think that I'm stupid. You think that I'm dumb. Maybe I tengo la cara de... Everything is calculated. Everything is done with anticipation. So, what do the campaign finance report for Steve Guerra show us? That there's questions. Courtney clarified one business. Thank you so much. But it also shows that a Brownsville Crime Stopper board member received $11,000. Bleep, bleep. And here you have the Brownsville Crime Stoppers trying to silence a community member that's reporting a crime. Do the right thing was their luncheon. Report crime. 956-546 tips. right? Wasn't that your song to remember the hotline? And here I am reporting a crime, and I get a cease and desist letter for what? For reporting a crime on your board member? Now we have a link of your board member and the candidate. And now you can't say that there's no affiliation with the organization and the candidate. Yeah, idiot. February 18th is a day in which I should receive video for the city of Brownsville. I hope they did not manipulate that video because according to insiders, people within the city, they know what I think is there. And they have confirmed it to me that it's there. So February 18th, Fabriel Cisneros, Mr. Freemason, who covers crime, I will ask for your immediate resignation. And each and every day that you do not resign, I'm going to amp it up. I'm going to make sure you resign because you have there's no reason why you should be there. You have a concerned citizen reporting a crime, and because it was directed to a board member of yours, you try to silence me. I don't appreciate that. I will use this mic. I will use my platform. I will not be intimidated. Do you not know who I am, sir? You idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Franklin Evil TV. Best believe Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday religiously. All we ask of our community is something very simple. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Peace!